Welcome to week 5 of the Yoga4Health program. Our catchphrase this week is inhale, exhale, pause, space. So our theme this week, after doing several weeks focusing on grounding, is we're moving on to the theme of spaciousness. And we're going to explore this theme in a number of ways. So you might think about how you experience space yourself, and perhaps you're lucky and you live in a country area or an area with lots of access to green space, but others may be in more of an urban environment, and lots of people live in flats without even access to a garden. So there's that aspect of physical space, and if you're in a busy city and you're commuting in crowded trains, there can be a real sense of a lack of physical space. When we're practicing yoga, we're able to create space no matter what environment we're inhabiting. And we do that through our physical practice on the physical body. So you will literally, and will have experienced this already in the 4 weeks we've already done, you will literally experience the sense of growing space within your own body, more space in the joints as they become mobilized, more space in the muscles as they begin to stretch and release, and more space in the spine and in the whole way that you hold your posture as you become more aware of your physical body through this regular weekly session and your daily yoga practice. But there's also other aspects, and we've said before that yoga's main and most profound impact is on our state of mind, in terms of making us less stressed, less anxious, but also steadying the mind, making it less like a busy torrent of thoughts, and instead slowing the mind down through the practice of yoga, so that we begin to find space between the thoughts as they arise in the mind. And when that happens, we're able to deal with things that come into our minds in a much more wise and skillful way. So we create space in the mind, we create stillness there through the practice, and we perhaps experience that the most when we are in relaxation and when we do our breathing practice. And that brings me to the breath, because as usual, our main tool in this breath-led practice is the way in which we use our breath to experience different aspects to our yoga practice. So to experience breath and space, what we will be doing is building on the ocean breath, inhale and long exhale. But at the end of the exhale, we're going to allow the out-breath to fully complete and just experience a moment of space at the end of the exhale. And that's why we have the catchphrase, inhale, exhale, pause, space. Now, it's really important that we don't put any strain on the breath, and that you don't think of this as holding the breath or stopping the breath. It's a very natural pause at the end of the exhale. It's just a matter of noticing the space and the turning point. And we notice that between the inhale and the exhale. But in this class, we're really focusing on noticing how the exhale ends and how there is this moment of stillness as the breath turns, a bit like the tide on the beach, the waves coming in and going out. There's that turning point before the inhale starts again. And that's where we hope that you will experience the space. So let's have a go at doing that breathing practice. You've all become very adept now at working with ocean breath, creating the soft sighing sound on inhale and exhale. And also you've become very used to, by now, lengthening the ocean breath exhale. So this should just feel like a natural progression. Inhale Long exhale, letting that exhale fully express itself, and end with a very short pause. So take a moment to close your eyes or have your eyes lowered and downcast. Maybe fix your gaze on a mark on the floor in front of you. And take a moment to tune into your body, to notice exactly how you feel right now. And as usual, just bringing into your awareness anything that's going on for you that you need to look after in your body. And also noticing your energy levels, whether you're agitated or calm, so that we're always starting our yoga practice from this place of mindfulness and completely occupying how we are right here, right now, in this present moment. And then begin to tune into your breath, breathing in and out through the nose unless the nose is blocked, and finding that inhale, ocean breath, exhale, long ocean breath, the same practice we did in the previous weeks. Inhale, ocean breath, exhale, long ocean breath. And then begin to notice if you can find that little bit of space, a little bit of spaciousness at the end of the exhale. Inhale, ocean breath, exhale, long ocean breath, and pause. Inhale, ocean breath, exhale, long ocean breath, pause. And do 3 more breaths like this, making this practice work for you with your breath and without putting any strain on your breath. Now we'll start our physical practice. Bring the palms together and inhale, draw the arms apart. And exhale, long ocean breath, pause, space. Inhale, ocean breath. Exhale, ocean breath, pause, space. One more in your own time. And then release the arms down. Inhale, ocean breath. Turn the palms at the end of the inhale, turning point of the breath. Long ocean breath. And turn the palms for the pause, space. Inhale, ocean breath, arms float up. Exhale, long ocean breath, pause, space. One more at your own pace. And then keep the breathing going as we release the shoulders with the shoulder shrugs. So now we're at week 5 and you're becoming really familiar with these practices. I'll be giving less guidance about what to do. You can glance up at the screen if you need to, but mainly you know what you're doing and you can focus instead on the breath. So here comes the side stretch. Exhale, long ocean breath. Pause, space. Inhale, ocean breath. Exhale, release the arm. Pause, space. And left side. On the exhale, feel the space coming into the sides of the body. Notice the exhale dying away into that moment of stillness before the inhale naturally flows in. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. Fingertips on the top of the shoulders now for our big shoulder release. Making wide circles, really feeling yourself using that long exhale and the pause to create space in the shoulders, to drop any tension you may be holding there. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. And now space in the back of the neck with our neck stretch and little rotation. Just being careful not to place any strain on the neck. Remember, the arm is just guiding the head and the neck in this one. Coming into our twist now. Long exhale, pause, space. Use that ocean breath inhale to lengthen up through the center of the body to the crown of the head, and use your long ocean breath and the pause and the space to soften a little more into the twist. Turning the head in on the next inhale, and continue. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. And let's repeat that on the other side. This time experiencing a sense of spaciousness in the spine, feeling that every single vertebra of your spine has the space in which to move and to sit in its connections to the rest of the spine. Releasing into a little forward bend from that twisting pose. And then coming into our back bend, this time thinking about creating space in the front of the body, feeling the shoulders drawing back and down, the breastbone lifting. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. And now a lovely bow forward to stretch out the lower back and create space through the lumbar spine, through the lower back. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. Releasing from the forward bend and either coming down onto the mat or remaining in your chair. Refocus on the breathing. Inhale, ocean breath. Exhale, long ocean breath. Pause, space. And with the palms resting on the abdomen, feeling that space at the end of the exhale as you engage and draw the tummy muscles in, and feeling that moment of stillness with those abdominal muscles held in until the next in-breath begins. And then working with that dynamically. Inhale, ocean breath, arms overhead or up into the air. Exhale, long ocean breath. Draw the abdominals in, pause, space. And we really feel the sense of spaciousness coming into the body as we do this practice in the shoulders, and particularly in the lower back if you're working on the mat. Working with your own breath. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. and then release from that pose. We're coming into our next practice, circling the upper body if you're in the chair. We're keeping the knees together and circling around the lower back, the back of the pelvis, using the arms to move the knees. Or if you want to work a little more strongly, just making the legs and the abdominal muscles create this movement for you. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. And now let's find some space in the ankle, the bones of the feet, the toes, by rotating first the right ankle and then the left. And taking that experience for space into the hips now, drawing the thigh in towards the body during the long exhale, and just holding it in that moment of stillness and pause. Releasing the thigh away for your in-breath. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. And then working on the other leg in the same way, taking whichever form of this practice suits your body best. Now we're going to do a little bit more strengthening for the core of the body. Remember, if you're on the mat, this is quite a powerful practice. You only need to feel like the tip of the tailbone and the sacrum lifts off the mat as you exhale and draw the tummy muscles in and pause. And if you're in a chair, just exhaling, drawing the hip muscles in to the body. And now moving on to finding that sense of space in the hips, either both hips at once if you're on the mat, or one hip at a time if you're working from the chair. Slow circling, inhale, exhale, pause, space. And tensing and releasing the body with the breath now. And here we can really experience, breath by breath, the compression, the contraction of muscles on the inhale, which can feel as if there is a little bit less space, and then the softening into space as we do our long ocean breath. Exhale, pause, space. Working first like this, dynamically, and then we'll be moving into holding the stretch, holding the tension in the muscles as we actively lengthen the whole of the body or the upper body, while still maintaining our steady breath. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. And just a reminder, if you're working in the chair, not to hold the arms overhead for too long, as that is very tiring. And if you're working on the mat, releasing now, if you haven't already, into the softness on an exhale, and taking a few inhale, exhale, pause, space, breaths in this mini relaxation. And now moving on into finding a little bit more space in the spine with our twisting movement. Working first dynamically. Long exhale, pause space as you move into the twist, either by taking the knees to either side of the body or rotating from the chair. Turning the shoulders and the head in opposite directions. Inhale, lengthening up through the spine. Long exhale. Pause. Space in the twist. Let your body follow your breath. And after a little bit of releasing, moving into holding the twist for a few breaths on each side. And if you're working from the chair, you can sit sideways on the chair like this and use the back of the chair to help to draw the shoulders round while turning the head in the opposite direction. Inhale, ocean breath. Exhale, long ocean breath. Pause. Space. And releasing from the twist by drawing the knees in over the chest or folding forward over the thighs. So moving on to the cross crawling. Allowing your inhale, exhale, pause, space to lead your body in and out of this movement. Really finding in that long exhale as you extend the leg and feel that extension just continuing into the pause at the end of your out breath. Inviting the muscles at the back of the thigh, the hamstring muscles that can be so tight, to also embrace this message of space. And now strengthening some of the muscles of the legs and the hips by lifting and lowering the leg with the breath. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. And finding the version of this practice that works for you. Just lifting a bent knee if you have any lower back issues, or going even as far as having a straight single leg lift if you're on the mat and you're able to do that without the lower back moving. And hug the knees in or fold forward to release from that practice, noticing the space in the body. And now we're doing a little bit of tilting the pelvis with the breath. Feeling the pelvis moving forward or lifting slightly on the in-breath, and tilting back in the other direction, flattening against the floor or towards the back of the chair on the exhale. And taking those same principles on into the back bend, removing anything from under the back of the head if you're on the mat. Inhale, ocean breath, lifting the pelvis or coming into back bend. Long ocean breath. Pause, space, as you roll your spine down to the floor or return your spine to neutral. Working slowly and mindfully with your breath. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. And holding the back bend now, just doing as much as is right for you, whether you're on the mat or holding the sides of the chair. Finding that space in the front of the body. And releasing down, folding forwards or hugging the knees in and rocking from side to side. So we're using the yoga belt now, stretching out the hamstrings, starting with the right leg. Really familiar practice now, using your long exhale pause to stretch the leg, and using your ocean breath inhale to soften and bend the knee and slacken the muscles that we are lengthening. And then holding the stretch on the right leg and still using your inhale, long ocean breath, exhale, pause, space, to really experience a sense of spaciousness coming into this right leg. And then pause between sides, see if you can notice a difference, and notice a difference in the sensation of space between the right and left leg. And then moving on to do the same two practices on the left side. Inhale, ocean breath. Exhale, long ocean breath. Pause, space. Exploring and discovering that sense of spaciousness in the left leg. When you've done both sides dynamically and statically, releasing the body, sliding the legs straight or folding forwards, and noticing the changed sensations in both legs. We come into our thread the needle hip opener. It's finding a really simple modified version of this practice if you have any knee problems or hip problems. And remembering to flex the foot to protect the knee if you're going to do the deeper versions of this posture. Continue to work with the breath. Inhale, ocean breath. Long exhale, ocean breath. Pause. Space. When we experience space in the hips, we experience more freedom of movement, less discomfort when we're sitting, and also a sense of release that moves down the legs to the feet and up through the pelvis to the lower back. So really important to find and regularly work on maintaining this sense of spaciousness in the hips. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. You're working in your cat now to find space in the whole of the length of the spine, and using whichever cat version suits your needs today. Really noticing where you feel there is space in the spine and where there isn't. And often that space will be there in the lower back and the neck, and it's actually the middle part of the back we need to focus on. So we're coming into our lunge now. Create a little more space through the front of the thighs and through the front of the hips. And either using the chair as a support, or you can do this lunge with the knee on the floor. And then changing to the other side and continuing with your breath work. Inhale, ocean breath. Exhale, long ocean breath. Pause, space. We're strengthening the back now, lying on the front, and then coming into our first posture of Sphinx, either holding it steady if you're lying on your front on the mat, or moving the arms up and down in and out of the Sphinx pose if you're in a chair, to prevent the arms from becoming tired. And finding a slightly deeper Sphinx if you're able to, but keeping the front of the pelvis on the mat. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. Taking a little counter pose between this back strengthening work, particularly if you feel any discomfort or twinge or any unusual sensations in the back. Just proceeding slowly, and by now you will be building some good strength in your back as we move through this week 5 practice. So inhaling ocean breath to lift the chest up away from the floor, Exhale, long ocean breath. Pause, space as you release down. And re-releasing the back before our final back strengthener. And this time we're focusing on the glutes. If you're staying in the chair, you're just going to tense and relax the muscles around the back of the hips with your breath. Inhale, engage, exhale, relax. And if you're lying on the front, as you know by now, keeping the front of the pelvis on the mat and the legs straight. And inhale, ocean breath, lifting a leg. Exhale, long ocean breath, pause, space to lower the leg. And find the version of this practice that really works for you, caring for your knees if you are kneeling, with a good amount of padding under the knees. Moving into downward dog. Inhale, long ocean breath. Exhale, pause, space. Inhale in the posture. Exhale, long ocean breath. Pause, space. And continue with this dynamic version of downward dog, coordinating the movements, letting the movements be led by your breath. Take rest at any time if this is putting a strain on the wrist or the shoulders. And if you do have any wrist or shoulder problems, remember the options that are there to remove that weight or significantly reduce it. Downward dog is a great way to find space throughout the whole of the length of the spine. And finishing our downward dog practice by just holding the pose. You can just walk the dog, bending and straightening the legs on that long ocean breath. Exhale, pause, space. So we're up to standing now if you're working on the mat or just sitting in the chair, and re-releasing the wrists and the shoulders, just using any of these practices that you like after the weight bearing work we've just done. Try to keep the breath going even through these little mobilization practices. Inhale, ocean breath. Long exhale, ocean breath. Pause, space. When we do weight bearing, we put contraction, compression back into the body, which can feel like a loss of space, so we do need to re-release. And then connecting with that full breath, sweeping the arms out and up, and exhale, ocean breath, down through the center of the body. Exhale, pause, space. Raising and lowering the toes, and then the heels with the breath. This will lead us into our sun salutations. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. Inhale, flatten the back. Exhale, pause, space. Inhale, rise up, flat back, open the heart. Exhale, pause, space. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pause, space. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart, pause, space. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pause, space. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pause, space. Continue through some more rounds of sun salutations at your own pace, led by your breath. Sun salutation sequence is becoming really familiar to you now, and whichever theme we're working on, you can adapt your focus to that theme. It will always be a breath-led practice, but as you move through these rounds of sun salutations, really focus on feeling space in every posture you do. Space in the shoulders, the back, the hips, the legs. And continue using your inhale, exhale, pause, space to enhance that feeling of spaciousness as you practice. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. Continue to practice. If you get to the end of a round and it feels like you've done enough, just pause, be with your own breath for a few moments before we move on to the next practice. Coming into Warrior One now. If you're in a chair, just taking the left leg out and using the arm movements with the breath. And if you can, stand holding the back of the chair. And if you don't need the support of the chair, then taking the foot alignment we've described repeatedly over the last few weeks and breathing into the lunge of the right knee, breathing out, straightening the leg. Inhale, ocean breath. Exhale, ocean breath. Pause. And then changing to the other leg, leading with the left leg. Inhale, ocean breath, space in the front of the body. Exhale, long ocean breath, pause. Let your body be led in and out of this spacious, heart opening and shoulder releasing movement with your breath. And just pausing after that practice before we move on to Warrior Two. So if you're standing, taking the feet a little bit wider, just turning out the right hip, the right thigh and the right lower leg an appropriate amount so that everything is in alignment, knee tracking toes. And this time lunging, turning the head, extending the arms, releasing the shoulders. Long ocean breath, exhale, pause. If you can, stand using the back of the chair for support. And allow this movement to transcend the body here so that you're really finding space with your breath and in your body, as if you were moving in and out of position like a moving meditation. This practice is soft and subtle and mindful, but it's still very powerful in awakening the feet, the legs, the spine, the chest, the shoulders, the neck, and creating space in all these important structures of the body. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. Inhale. Exhale. Pause. Space. And then pausing for a moment to reflect, sitting or standing. Then we'll come into our final standing pose if you're working on the mat. And because this is a balance, I really encourage you to come out of the chair if you can and use the back of the chair for support. Everybody can benefit from being near a wall or a chair. And beginning with the easy Heron one breath balances, as it's week 5, we're going to invite you to move on to having a look at the tree pose, and even moving into holding the tree pose, if you're able to do that. But unless you can maintain the inhale, exhale, pause, space in the static versions of these balances, then it's better just to stay with the dynamic version. We don't want to lose that space in the mind by becoming too aware of the difficulty of balance, and it is difficult practice to hold a balance. And then coming to the end of the balance now, releasing and just finishing off on the other side if you need to do that. And if you've already balanced as much as you want to, feel free to pause, standing or sitting, and then make your way to our inverted posture, either legs on the chair, head on a pillow or blanket, yoga block under the hips, or putting your feet up if you're working from a chair. Inhale, ocean breath. Exhale, long ocean breath. Pause. Space. This is a closing posture. We're beginning to focus now on space in the mind. You might be doing this practice with your eyes closed. So now we're going to come down to the mat if you can, or remain in the chair for the relaxation. And if you do that, regard it as a guided meditation, particularly if your chair is not safe to have the risk of falling asleep in it. Otherwise, take any comfortable position as we hand over to Leanne Antonia, my colleague, for this relaxation themed on space.
Allow yourself just in your own time, just as you're starting to settle, to notice your own breathing. Notice your inhale, your exhale. Inhale and exhale. This is your natural breath, so you don't need to use your ocean breath for this particular practice, but feel free to do so if you prefer. Now direct your attention to your right foot. Feel the contours of your right heel. Inhale and infuse your right foot with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the right foot and feel the space. Allow your attention to move to your right ankle. Your right ankle. Inhale into the right ankle. Infuse it with breath and energy. Exhale, allowing the breath to flow out of the right ankle. Feel the spaciousness. Move your attention to your right calf. The right calf. Breathe into the right calf. Infuse it with breath and energy. Then exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the right calf. Feel the space. Move your attention to your right shin. Your right shin. Inhale, breathing into the right shin. Infuse it with breath and energy. As you exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the right shin. Feel the spaciousness. Move your attention up to your right thigh. The right thigh. Inhale, infuse your right thigh with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the right thigh. Feel the space. Notice your right buttock. Feel the contour of your right buttock. Inhale, infusing your right buttock with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the right buttock. Feel the spaciousness. Softly direct your attention to your left foot. Your left foot. Feel and notice the contours of your left heel. Take an inhale, infuse your left foot with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the left foot. Feel the space. Notice your left ankle. Your left ankle. Inhale into the left ankle. Infuse it with breath, infuse it with energy. Then allow the breath to flow out of the left ankle. Notice the space. Move your attention to your left calf, the calf of the left leg. Inhale, infuse your left calf with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to leave the left calf. Feel the space. Move your awareness to your left shin. Your left shin. Inhale, infuse your left shin with breath and energy. Exhale and allow the breath to flow out of the left shin. Feel the spaciousness. Notice your left thigh. Your left thigh. Inhale, infuse the left thigh with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to leave the left thigh. Feel the space. Notice the spaciousness. Move your attention to your left buttock. Your left buttock. Inhale, infuse the left buttock with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the left buttock. Feel the space. Notice your lower back. Your lower back. Inhale and infuse the lower back with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the lower back. Feel the spaciousness. become aware of your middle back. Feel the contour of your middle back. Inhale, infusing your middle back with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the middle back. Feel the space. Then move your awareness to your upper back. Your upper back. Inhale, infusing the upper back with breath and energy. Exhale, allow that breath to flow out of the upper back. Feel the spaciousness in its place. Now allow your awareness to float to the front of your body, specifically your lower belly. Inhale, infuse the lower belly with breath and energy. Exhale, allow that breath to leave the lower belly. Feel the space. Feel the spaciousness. Now notice your middle belly, the middle part of your belly. Inhale and infuse the middle belly with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the middle belly. Notice the space. Feel the space. Then notice your right chest. Draw your attention to the right side of your chest. Inhale and infuse your right chest with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to leave the right chest. Feel the spaciousness. Notice the space. Softly move your awareness to your left chest, the left side of the chest. Inhale into your left chest. Infuse it with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the left chest. Feel the space. Notice the space. Now softly move your awareness to your right hand. Your right hand. Inhale into the right hand. Infuse it with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to leave the right hand. Feel the space. Notice the space. Notice the right wrist and notice the contours of the right wrist. Inhale, infusing the right wrist with breath and energy. And then allow that breath to flow out of the right wrist. Feel the space. Notice your right lower arm, your right forearm. Inhale here, infuse the right forearm with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the right forearm. Feel the space. Notice the right upper arm, the right upper arm. Inhale, infuse that right arm with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the right upper arm. Feel the spaciousness. Notice the right shoulder and feel the curves of the right shoulder. Inhale, infuse the right shoulder with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the right shoulder. Notice the spaciousness. Feel the spaciousness. Move your awareness over to your left hand. Your left hand. Inhale, infuse the left hand with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the left hand. Notice the spaciousness. Then notice the left wrist, your left wrist. Inhale, infuse the left wrist with breath and energy. Exhale, the breath flows out of the left wrist. Feel the space. Feel the spaciousness. Notice the left forearm. The left forearm. Inhale, infuse the left forearm with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to leave the left forearm. Feel the space. Feel the spaciousness. Move your awareness to your left upper arm. The left upper arm. Inhale, infusing the left upper arm with breath and energy. Exhale, allow the breath to flow out of the left upper arm. Feel the spaciousness. And notice the left shoulder. And feel the contours of the left shoulder. Inhale into the left shoulder. Infuse it with breath, infuse it with energy. Exhale, allow that breath to leave the left shoulder. Feel the spaciousness. Notice your face, particularly the right side of your face. Inhale and infuse the right side of your face with breath and energy. Exhale, allow that breath to flow out of the right face. Feel the spaciousness. Then softly move your awareness to the left side of your face. Inhale, infuse the left side of your face with breath and energy. Exhale, allow that breath to leave the left side of the face. Feel the spaciousness. Direct your awareness to the very top of your head. The top of the head. Inhale, infuse the top of the head with breath and energy. Exhale, allow that breath to flow out of the top of the head. Feel the spaciousness. Then become aware of the back of your head. The very back of your head. Inhale, infuse the back of the head with breath and energy. Exhale, allow that breath to flow out of the back of the head. Feel the spaciousness. Notice the feeling of space within your whole body. The whole body has space. There is space in the whole body. There is space throughout the body. Direct your attention to the breath. As you breathe in and out, notice the space in the breath. Notice the space between the breaths. Notice the space in the breaths. Notice the space in the breaths. Notice the space between the breaths. Notice the space in the breaths. Notice the space between the breaths.
And now it's time to end the relaxation. Move the fingers, wriggle the toes, stretch your body in any way that feels good. And if you're lying on the mat, when you're ready, bend your knees and roll onto your side. Take a moment there and then make your way back up to sitting. If you prefer to remain on the mat, you could sit on a yoga block or cushion. Just make sure your spine is upright and you're comfortable, or you can come back into the chair for our final breathing practice. Maintain the space in the mind that you achieved in your relaxation and the space in the body that you received from your practice. Have your eyes closed or downcast and refocus your breath once more on inhaling ocean breath, exhaling long ocean breath, pause, space. Try to make these next 5 breaths the highest quality. Inhale, long exhale, pause, space that you can muster, and really feel as if you are experiencing space at every level of your being, physically, emotionally, mentally. Inhale, exhale, pause, space. At the end of your last breath of this final breathing practice, allow your breath now to return to its natural rhythm, and when you're ready, blinking, open the eyes. Thank you very much for attending or practicing this week 5 session of the Yoga4Health protocol, and I hope you will be able to practice as much as possible before the next session, week 6 next week. And don't forget to carry on integrating the inhale, exhale, pause, space in whatever practice you choose to do. And in your daily lives, just thinking about how you can create space for yourself and for others, both physically and mentally, and in your breath. And maybe every single time you find yourself in a situation which requires you to cope with the stresses and strains of everyday life, just see if you can use that long exhale and pause for 2 or 3 breaths to really make a difference to what you experience and the space in your breath and in your mind and in your life. So I wish you well until next week, and I'll see you then. Thank you.